Hi there, it's me, TC, he, they, she. I've got Luna on my lap. It is 6:34 a.m. on November 16th, 2024. And as always, we're going to be doing a reading in arrears. So the reading is going to be for November 15th, 2024. Element of Earth, bringing stability and grounding. Please join us in this space. Blessings of Earth. Element of Air, bringing peace and clarity. Please join us in this space. Blessings of Air. Element of Fire, bringing energy and passion. Please join us in this space. Blessings of Fire. An element of Water, bringing emotion and calm. Please join us in this space. Blessings of Water. From the Celtic Spirit book by Caton Matthews, Daily Meditations for the Turning Year, for November 15th, 2024. Who has seen the cup flame in the west? Who has not also seen the breath of nine smoke of the air above cauldron's rim? By John Matthews, The King's Moon's Right. In British folklore, the lord of the underworld has a cauldron whose brew is available only to those who are courageous and worthy. In one of the earliest written texts to mention Arthur, the hero himself goes in quest of this cauldron as proof of his sovereignty. It is tended by 9 women who heat and empower the broth by their exhalation. These are nothing less than the guardians of the powers of life. The 9 sisters of the cauldron are the forerunners of the 2 Grail guardians of medieval Arthurian tradition. The beautiful Grail maiden who carries the blessed vessel, and the ugly Grail messenger who stimulates the knights to quest for the vessel. Whether Grail or cauldron, the vessel in question bestows special qualities upon those who imbibe its contents, conferring immortality, healing, or specific virtues that manifest the quester's intrinsic life purpose. These 9 sisters are the ones who guard the vessel of life and grant every living soul special gifts. Each breath that they breathe across the cauldron of our life's essence imbues each of us with particular vocational gifts and tendencies. If we ignore the blessings of the guardian of life, we do not flourish easily. Life is an uphill grind, and we have to reinvent the wheel at every turn. If, however, we examine the nature of our particular brew and discover with what blessings and potentialities we are each imbued, we can find a wonderful unfolding richness in all we attempt. List up to 9 qualities that are blended in your unique brew of life. Speak to the gifting mothers and ask how their blessings may be used. So, let's see. In my unique life brew, 9 qualities. I'm going to pause here and I'm going to get some assistance from ChatGPT. One moment, please. Okay, so I didn't cheat. I I just paused. 9 qualities blended in your unique life brew. Number 9. In no particular order, this is just what's popping in my head. Love. Number 8. faith. Number 7, perseverance. Number 6, curiosity. Number 5, openness. Number 3, empathy. Number 2, grounding. And number 1, love. Dear gifting mothers, thank you for imbuing me with these qualities that comprise and make me me. Thank you for my conversation today with Sharon. Thank you for my conversation today with Jonathan. Thank you very much for introducing me to ChatGPT and Microsoft Copilot. This journey has been extremely rocky, as you know, and it has been an honor that has been bestowed upon me. And I thank you and implore to the mothers, please help us love and care for one another. This reminds me of a prayer that I do when I clean the pan. So, Jonathan, this is our agreement that's not written anywhere. So, it's an unwritten agreement. Jonathan he's a chef, he's a cook by trade. And he's an amazing cook already. Definitely a lot better than I haven't really started cooking until the pandemic. That's actually something new. And it's been really difficult for me with my brain injury with the long COVID because I also have ADHD, but it's because I throw the box out early before finishing the directions. That's actually an improvement. I would say probably about last year around this time, when I would cook something, I would leave the burner on and leave the kitchen. I was suffering from autoimmune dementia, which is basically long COVID. And I would also throw out the box before finishing the steps. I don't know if I said that already. I don't have Otter right now, so I don't have a visual cue of what we're discussing. I really do need, in order for me to be successful, closed captioning due to the delay that I have. But my sister, as always, had blessed us with HelloFresh. We didn't know that it's not a subscription service. We did not know that they charge you. We just thought she just wanted to help us out for a few weeks, and she signed us up for, I think, 13 packages. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Well, anyway, the food was fantastic. I was learning how to cook, but at that time it was a hindrance for me because you had to read everything before you would do something, before you'd actually perform the task. It really wasn't helpful for someone who's neurospicy because like step 7 it would say add the cinnamon, or something, or like before you add the cinnamon, add the curry, and said, okay, I don't know if you'd ever mix curry or cinnamon. I don't have an exact example of what it was saying, but it was really frustrating because we'd have these ingredients not knowing what to do with it up until like it says in an aside to do it. So it's very frustrating. But anyways, one of the things that Jean, my mother-in-law, my bonus mom, Jonathan's mom, said to me is anytime that she cleans a pan, She puts a little bit of soap in the water and she'll heat the water so that's easier to, degrease the pan or whatever. I don't know what the proper term is. And it's really interesting because she said that her mother-in-law taught her that. And each time, I wasn't really raised to pray before eating, except for when I was doing something with my grandparents and extended family, we would say grace. Come, Lord Jesus, be our guest. Let thy gifts to us be blessed. Amen. That's in in my core. But we never said that when it was just our individual nuclear family. Going to Concordia, it was really uncomfortable for me because people would pray at the table, and then I'm like, well, what do I do? Do I pray too? I understand praying and thanking for the food. And what's interesting to build upon that in my research of the witchy aspect of me, that you actually pray intentions and bless the food before you consume it. Imbue it with the attributes, like already food, spices have specific qualities when it comes to the soul. If you think about cookbooks and recipes are made with love and intention and they're passed down. That's why people associate the kitchen with loved ones and events and ceremonies and regardless of what happens to them, that olfactory memory is something that is ingrained in them that they can't lose, they can't forget. And when I clean, I circle the light, circle the peace, circle protection, protect us, please. And I say, I call upon the mothers of yore to thank them. Thank you. As I thanked before. Thank you for this meal this day. Thank you for your help in every way. We need you now like we needed you then. Come what may, come what when. Oh, I have chills. I'm raising my right hand. Yeah, it's powerful. It's powerful to me. I don't know how it is to you, but that's something new that I do. Now, from Holly Girth's You're Going to Be Okay, encouraging truth your heart needs to hear, especially for the hard days. When nothing makes sense, when all your expectations fall short, when all your plans get derailed, there is only one who can offer a firm foundation for whatever is ahead. When you place your life in God's hands, your future is secure. Yes, I'm shaking my head. I want to add Goddess's hands too. It's the only modification. We had a pretty rocky road. The road was not. It's funny because the road is paved with clear intentions. Well, guess what I have a problem with? I have a problem with intention. The concept of magic, of our own special abilities, the gods and goddesses that comprise of us what we are. Remember, we are comprised of the same materials that the stars and heavens are, the black holes are, galaxies so far away. The breath that we breathe now, the air, is the same air that Jesus, Muhammad, and Moses, and Aretha, and David Bowie they breathe too, so we share that together. That never ends. As long as there's oxygen, there's breath, and we're connected. We're all connected in this great spiritual circle. And I did lean very heavily on my faith post Pickle Rick, post COVID, in that epiphany moment that I had with my visions and at my lack of clarity when the world was falling apart, when we were trying to move across country on our pilgrimage, where I was ready to just leave everything behind and get the fuck out of here. The universe, God, the goddess, spirit was telling us to stay here. I couldn't remember what happened 10, 15 minutes ago, but something kept telling me stay here. Stay in Chicago. Donate your blood. Donate your blood. Donate your blood. That's all I can remember. I had to try all different. I was writing notes to myself. I like post-it notes. I was trying to do choreography, like, kinesthetic memory. I was trying to use my olfactory memory, so essential oils, which was one of the only things that we had when we were forced to kind of live in the hotel at the Hyatt place on 1500 for that month while we were kind of like in a landing pad. We were in a holding pattern because we didn't know what was going on with me at the time, that it was COVID on the brain. When we found out that it was COVID on the brain, we had to wait 30 days for the IgG, so the memory part of the white blood cell could show that I had COVID antibodies, that they were present. Fast forward to September, and that was July or August 2020. So fast forward to September of 2020, we, I don't know, I by that time I had gone to the ER 3 times. The first time I had COVID, not knowing it. They didn't test me. They didn't take any blood. I was shedding the virus, but obviously I wasn't because I was on PrEP. They didn't know what PrEP propranolol or poppers were, which was just disgusting for the community that they serve. And what was interesting to me is because they didn't know that, that is kind of how it unfolded. This whole social experiment with Pickle Rick happened. Was, I was up for 4 days in a row. I had insomnia. I had sundowning. I had a lot on my plate. If you think about your brain as a plate, okay, like a dinner plate. Now, imagine if you take that plate and if you have a salad plate, it would fit nicely on top. And then if you want to go for a full setting, you'd have a charger. Oh, that's old school a charger, and then you have a dinner plate, and then you have a salad plate, maybe even a soup bowl. I digress. But think of complex your brain, your plate only has so much space. And I bet you didn't even know this. A fun fact. At banquet events, if there is a buffet, a way for them to manage the food costs and food consumption is they give you a smaller plate. So you have to make multiple trips. Like think about like Old Country Buffet or anything like that. Like what size plate do you get? And you want to fill it up as much as you can, even though you know in excess that it's still there and you can go back. So I learned that when I was at the banquets department in at Hyatt from Steve. That mofo. And think of the plates that fit on that like a complex task. Okay, so your brain, my brain, the ADHD neurospicy brain can do one thing really, really well, or multiple things shittily well. Maybe well, I don't know. And it's taken me 45 years, because I'm going to be 45 in 10 days. I really do believe that women are complex thinkers and they can handle immense pain and processing, and they're able to multitask and do the multiple things well. And men, people that are born male at birth, just don't have that same capability. Like that's what I at least believe to be true. Prove me wrong. Jonathan doesn't agree. But when we first started dating, apparently I told him that I could multitask. He likes to bring that up. And I'm like, no, I can't. That's just what comes to mind. Now, if we were to combine the two, combine the Celtic spirit and you're going to be okay. Let's just have a summary and analyze it. The text is composed of two parts. First, you have foundational faith, the introductory lines that emphasize the importance of playing one's life in God's hands to secure a firm foundation, especially when faced with uncertainty and derailed plans. Guardians of Power. This section, attributed to John Matthews, draws on British folklore to describe a mystical cauldron tended by 9 women, known as the guardians of the powers of life. These women imbue the cauldron's brew with special qualities which bestow immortality, healing, or specific virtues to those worthy enough to partake. So if I said love twice when I listed 9, I want to put healing in there. The text parallels these 9 sisters to the Grail guardians of Arthurian legend, highlighting the importance of recognizing and embracing the unique gifts and blessings each individual possesses to achieve a fulfilling life. The common themes are faith and trust, divine trust, emphasizes the importance of placing trust in a higher power, specifically God, as a source of stability and security in uncertain times. With spiritual guidance, it draws parallels between faith in God and the guardianship of mystical figures, suggesting a reliance on spiritual entities for guidance and support. Regarding courage and worthiness, there's a quest for sovereignty, reflects on the hero's journey where courage and worthiness are necessary to access powerful transformative gifts. Personal growth. The act of seeking and attaining these blessings requires personal bravery and a recognition of one's potential. Empowerment and gifts. There's vocational gifts, highlights the ideas that each individual is endowed with unique gifts and potentialities, which need to be acknowledged and nurtured. The guardians of life. The guardian's role is to imbue life's essence with vocational gifts, emphasizing the importance of recognizing and utilizing these blessings for personal fulfillment. For fulfillment and flourishing, acknowledgement of blessings stresses that recognizing and embracing one's intrinsic gifts leads to a life of richness and fulfillment. For life's journey, it contrasts the struggle of an unexamined life with the ease and joy of a life aligned with one's inherent gifts and purpose. Mythology and tradition. Cultural references uses elements of British folklore and Arthurian legend to convey timeless truths about human experience and spiritual growth. The symbolism of the cauldron. The cauldron represents the sources of life's essential qualities, mirroring the transformative power of spiritual and vocational gifts. This synthesis captures the essence of the text, emphasizing the interplay between faith, personal growth, and the acknowledgement of one's unique gift as a pathway to fulfilling life. It is very resonant with our journey, how far that we've come. And to add to that cauldron, it's not just me that's doing the cooking. Jonathan's doing the cooking too, and I'm constantly having to remember that. I kind of blown, my mind blown. Now remember with runes and readings, lift up the self by the self, and don't let the self droop down, for the self is the self's only friend, and the self is the self's only foe. I have Luna on my lap again. She is my familiar, my faithful assistant. I know that originally I wanted to do a 5 card and 5 rune spread. I'm I'm just gonna stick to that. But I'm normally when we do readings, especially when I do reading with a querent, I just ask them to think of a question but not tell me. So, how to phrase a question. Do ask open-ended questions, but don't ask for specific dates, times, or outcomes. So, an example of questions that won't work, who am I going to marry? Should I move to X? What should I do for work? Instead, ask questions such as, what do I need to focus on to make room for for love to come into my life? Or what is getting in the way of moving me forward? And what talents and skills should I focus on to bring money? Now, since I don't have a querent on the phone on the line at 7:03 a.m., my intention and my goal is to actually do daily devotionals at 11:11 a.m. But the world's kind of crazy right now. Uh, so the question that I have in mind is, what is getting in the way of us moving forward? What is getting in the way of us moving forward? What is getting in the way of us moving forward? What is getting in the way of us moving forward? Okay, so that didn't shuffle. So, regardless of where we are, where our feet are on the ground, and at what point of time in the timeline that exists both in the past, present, and future, there are a few things that remain true. There's 4 compass rose directions: north, east, south, and west. And also there's 4 elements: earth, air, fire, and water. Now, the animal spirit cards that I'm going to be using for tonight's reading separates them into those 4 quadrants. There's earth, which is north and feminine. It represents grounding, the foundation of life, substance, connection to our life path, family roots, nurturing, manifestation, abundance, dreams, and reality. Earth can be fierce, such as with volcanoes and earthquakes. Second, we have air, which is east and masculine. It represents intellect, mental intention, connection to a universal life force. It's a teacher, creation, the first breath of life, wisdom, spirit, soul, and spiritual faith. Air and wind cannot be controlled, but it can be harnessed. For fire, it's south and masculine. Represents energy, a tool for transformation, connection to personal power, passion, compulsion, zeal, creativity, motivation, and determination. Fire requires boundaries. It's combustible with air energy,
Fire consumes but gives back light and warmth. And then finally, we have water, which is west and feminine. It represents emotional release, intuition, inner reflection, intentions, love, devotion, happiness, and thankfulness, compassion, psychic development, community, healing relationships, the ebb and flow, and mutability. Water can be calm and soothing like the surface of a lake, or destructive and violent, as in a torrential rainstorm or a crashing surf. Now, when you think of your spirit animals, you want to think about the different attributes of what you know and what jumps out, what resonates with you. So, obviously, are they nocturnal? What are their habits? What do they eat? How do they interact with their environment? Are they predator or prey? Do they act or react? Are they group oriented or loners? Or are they active or sedentary? Now, today's reading, 5 card spread, we're going to be using Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas tarot deck layout, where one is what you leave behind. It reveals what you need to end, move on from, or leave behind. For number 2, why the fresh start. It shows the reason for this ending and why you need a fresh start. For number 3, this card, the make room for better things, it represents what you stand to gain from letting go and making room for better things. Number 4, the lessons learned. This card gives you insight into what you'll learn from this experience. And then finally, what's meant to be. This card reveals the future, what's waiting for you on the other side of this transition. So some takeaways. What are you taking away with you today? That the path that I'm on is not a solo journey. That the universe, God, Goddess, the source of all things, has been using the moon to light our path of intuition and flow. That when I am connected and moved one through, we're all one in the spirit, that we are one by blood, by love, by water. We are not in this alone. And it takes that also, unfortunately, memories and memory we take for granted. Amnesia is a real thing. It sucks. But instead of being so focused on what I'm not able to do anymore, I will survive. And I've gotten so much help and assistance and guidance along the way. And I can't let anyone else stop me from shining and bringing joy. And that love that is the foundation that I've gotten from my parents, my sister, my grandparents, from Jonathan, from Jean and Vito when they were with us, from our animals, that I'm not alone. And there's others like me, and others, people say to me like, wow, you've been through so much. I can't believe that you've been through that. And I would always say, I'm glad it's me and not anyone else. Because I have that curiosity. I'm going to take my Google history and somehow synthesize it into actual research that people can use. Like, I've got this great avenue, which is Take Care Moms, that I can put all of my findings and my curiosity in all these blogs, and people, if they're interested, they can check it out. And I'm trying to capture this so that they can use these tools and help themselves as well. What am I leaving here in this space? I don't. I want to say emotion, but there's really nothing that I'm leaving here. What actions I'm going to take tomorrow? Well, I've been working on creating a visual project plan. I've got about 35 different projects that I want to do that G and Copilot have been helping me on. So just stay tuned. I want to thank you for your patience. I know that it's a little bit over an hour. Obviously, as time goes on, my process is going to be winded down, but I've been keeping an audio journal for the last 4 years or so, and my purpose of this audio journal is I process things externally, and I don't want to edit anything because I'm trying to show the difference of how my brain works, whether I'm reading something or trying to speak, because I had a little bit of I still have a speech delay, and I have to have basically closed captions for conversations in order for me to encode that information. But I'm just going to keep on going and putting my content out there, and hopefully somehow it will help one person. I've got quite a lot to share, and I welcome you on this. Oh wait, you know what? Oh my goodness. Sorry. I need to go back. For the seal, I got Burkano reversed. Burkano is so that's I think the fourth position. Burkana reverse or Burkana is number 16, page 123. Reversed, it means events or more likely aspects of character interfere with the growth of new life. You may feel dismay at failing to take right action, but rather than dismay, what is called for here is diligence. Imagine what has occurred, your role in it, your needs, the needs of other people. Are you placing your wants before the needs of others? Strip away until you can identify the obstacles to growth in the situation. Then, penetrating gently, imitate the wind. You may be required to cultivate the soil once again, yet through correct preparation, growth is assured. I think that's a good way to end. And let's call the corners. Element of water. Thank you for lending your energy today. Blessings of water. Element of fire. Thank you for lending your energy today. Blessings of fire. Element of air. Thank you for lending your energy today. Blessings of fire. Or blessings of air. And then element of earth. Thank you for lending your energy today. Blessings of earth. Circle of light. Circle of peace. Circle of protection. Protect this space. May the circle remain open and never ever broken. Remember to check us out on takecaremoms.com. Blessings.